Group 1, which are Tippy Go Toes and Tippy Go Weather. And you're ready this time. Second call for Group 2, Tippy Go Kids. Second call. I've been here before, and so you may sound familiar to you guys, and I'm awfully excited to be back. And what a good way to start off the show with the Pinky Goats. As you guys may or may not be able to see, there's two letters in a dough out here, and so I'm going to discuss those separately. I'll talk about the letters together, and then I'll talk about the dough separately, just because they are going to be different, just because of their sex. And so between the two letters, the young lady directly in front of me and then the young man, the young lady's going to go ahead and be your champion. I think just in terms of skeletal organization and soundness, that one, in my opinion, has to go ahead and start off the class. I just think he utilizes his structure a little bit more freely and loosely when he gets out here around the ring. And then couple that with the fact that he doesn't just overwhelm the class in terms of genuine width and muscularity. Congratulations to you, young lady. That's nothing to take away from the young man with the black and white leather. I think this one from the side puts together a nice look. I prefer his extra length of front end. And I think he is cool to look at. In terms of his design from the side, I just wish he could match the leather ahead of him in terms of his overall muscularity. Just is a little bit narrower, a little bit lighter muscle, but still a nice one in his own regard. Congratulations to you two. They will both get purples and be your champion in reserve Pinky Goat, or weather, sorry. And then the young lady with the small dough, I think this is one that certainly has a bright future. She's correct in terms of her angles, and reads right when she's out in motion. To be honest though, obviously she's the smallest, and so I think it's just going to take some time and maturity to really see where this goes value will lie. But as you can see, she's extremely feminine, she's extremely well put together, and I think you'll have a great future ahead of you with that female. So again, she'll be the champion doe, and she'll receive a purple, and then the young lady with the brown weather is going to be champion weather, and you will be reserved. If we could all please give these individuals a big hand, and give up the rest of the show, guys. The results of that first class of Pinky Goat Toes and letters, receiving Royal Champion, Pinky Goat Toe is Kimberly Stanford. Reserve Champion, Pinky Goat Toe is Remington Justin. Our Grand Champion, Pinky Goat Weather is Amy Ishii. Our sponsors for the banners for those awards, Grand banners were sponsored by our Green State class, and Mother Nature Services sponsored our Reserve banners for those awards. Thank you so much for those sponsors. First of all, group 4, reading 8, go.
First call number 4. No entry rate we have our go under 12 month entry.
The competition, so I wish we had more out here for her to compete with, but I really like this female. I think she's awfully athletic in terms of her rib cage, and I think with that, it's what allowed her to be so massive in the stand to her rack directly over top of her round rib shape. She progresses back to an extremely square and wide loin edge. And I know that may be something that you would expect to hear in a market show or a weather show, but these females are used to generate those weathers. And so it's important to see that in these females, and when they can do it like she does, it makes them even more valuable. And as you can see, the young lady's doing a really good job getting her shown. So the fact that she has extra shape and muscularity in tandem with her extra look and design quality from the side makes her extremely valuable. Congratulations to you, young lady. You got an awfully nice one on your hands. So that brings us to 5.
Receive a purple ribbon. Next entering the ring will be
To go ahead and win the class with this blonde-headed doe. I think one that just overwhelms in terms of power. She's extremely wide-chested, big ribbed and square when you get in behind her. I really appreciate her extra foot size and feature. That's anything away from the young lady's red doe because I think they actually cover each other really well. I wish the young man was just a little bit more feminine, a little bit fresher in her overall breeding condition, and I think that's where the young lady has the advantage. She is longer and more extended through her front one third. She's more refined and feminine all the way out. And like I alluded to, she is fresher when you get in front of or behind her there in terms of her condition. Maybe at the same time, though, I wish she utilized her hip and hind leg a little bit more authority. At times, she wants to get a little bit narrow there at her base and throw her hawk outside of herself. But still, one that I can appreciate from the side in terms of her design quality. A really nice pair with some trade-offs. Congratulations to both of you guys. Please give them a hand as they exit the ring.
now in the ring is group 4 of the Settle Season Numbers. In the last serving area, we have a Tom Dunbar, who's in the purple, and Jeremy, who's in the purple. We see the purple ribbon is for Ribbon Tower and Ribbon Tower receiving blue.
No.
the side. She's extremely shallow and short-bladed. She's really, really round and robust there about her forehead, which is what's allowed her to feel that kind of true shape and expression over the top side of her skeleton. And again, when she gets out in circles, I think she does so on the most athletic and coordinated build. So congratulations to you, young lady. The young lady that comes out in second, one that I actually prefer from a length of neck perspective. I think that's a high time female that proportions out extremely well from the side. Maybe not just quite as round, not quite as robust about her rib cage, and so she doesn't come with the same kind of shape and overwhelming dimension as our class winner. But still, one from a design, build, athleticism standpoint is very good. I just wish she came with a little bit more massive dimension up high and from behind. Good job to you, young lady. You're doing an awesome job getting the show. Young lady that comes out next, I think, is one that's just a very fundamental kind of female. She is very well put together from the side. She is extremely broody and big there to her center skeleton, which will allow her to be a good mother down the road. Maybe, if you will, doesn't come with the extra. She's a bit lighter muscled. She gets a little bit narrower coming and going. I'd like to see her come with just a bit more foot size and feature, but still a really practical kind of breeding doe. Congratulations to you, young lady. I think the next two are relatively similar in their type and kind, so I could understand if you wanted to switch these two females around. For me personally, I think the black-headed doe just read a little bit more opened up. She just read a little bit wider gauged in front of and behind those. And so for me, I just think she reads a bit more functional as a breeding piece. But still, I think this doe needs to be a little bit more massive. She needs to come with more shape out of the backside of her blade and over her loin edge. But congratulations to you. Young lady that comes out next, I think you got in a really tough class, probably the toughest class of the day, if you want me to be honest. I love this doe's hip and hind leg posture and her ability to use it when she gets around the ring. She's just a little bit too green for me today. We need to see more shape and expression all the way throughout. So congratulations to you. If we could please give these exhibitors a big hand as they exit the room.
So now entering the ring, we have group 6. In that last top of market league of those, receiving purple are Ada Ishii and Peyton Hartman. Our blue ribbon winners are Elliot Elon, Briley Lindauer, and Quincy Hurst. This is group 6 entering the ring. First of all, group 7.
terms of span and dimension, when you get directly over the females, she probably is the widest in terms of her rack and the widest in terms of her loinage. She's extremely stout and square in her pin set, and I like those things about that female. However, when you get your hands on her, she is a little bit over conditioned there over her first couple ribs. She is a little bit looser heighted, and so that plays to her disadvantage. But still, I like her squareness, I like her trueness all the way throughout. I like her extra length and extension that she's working with her front 1/3. I just wish we could make that female a little bit tighter heighted to really make that muscle shape stand out, be fresher and more expressive. But still, congratulations to you, young man. The third and fourth place goes, I think obviously are very similar, not only because of their color pattern, but just their type and kind. They're both really moderate, functional kinds of females that have a lot of rib shape, a lot of dimension and width underneath of them. However, my biggest problem with these two females is they are just a little bit over conditioned when you get your hands on them. I think to see them come quite a bit fresher and harder to the touch to compete with those ones ahead of them. But the young man that ends up in third, I think, is one that is very, very impressive in terms of her true foot size and feature. I love that those extra stoutness through her forearm and at the ground. I think that's a nice female. We just need to see her a little bit more cleaned up there, her breastplate, in terms of her breathing condition. But congratulations to you, young man. You're doing an awesome job. Similar story for you, young lady. I think this girl actually has the advantage whenever you study her to her front 1/3. I like her ability to tie her neck tighter and tighter at the top side of her shoulder. She does come just a bit more collected there when you get her in motion in terms of her top line and her build. For me, though, she doesn't come with the same foot size. She doesn't come with the same true power. And again, we need to see these females come just a little bit fresher and harder handling to compete higher up in this class. Good job to you. One lady that comes out next with the Pinko, I think is one that's just very basic in terms of her type and kind. I don't think that there's a major problem with this female, but at the same time, I don't know if there's just an outlying piece in her that makes her extremely high value. I think she's just really, really basic. She's feminine. She's nice to look at from the side in terms of her build. She gets out and goes pretty well. However, at the same time, she gets a little bit plainer there to her chest floor. She gets a little bit deeper there in terms of her forehead. And I'd like to see her come a bit stronger on the backside of her blade and lower at her hip. And so just minor things that sort this female down, but still a functional one that I'm sure will read on extremely well. Congratulations to you. The lady with the red, though, I think is one that challenges the one ahead of her in terms of being bigger footed, in terms of coming just a little bit sharper fronted and more shallow and picked up there in her chest. However, for me, when you get your hand on this female, she's just a bit too stale. I'd like to see her come bigger there in terms of her rack and loinage. I'd like to see her come with some more shape and expression to compete higher in the class. And that's the same story for the rest of the females down the line. I think these are nice shows that have some good structure and design quality to them. However, we need to see more shape. We need to see more expression up high and from behind. Maybe that'll come later on down the road. But if we could please give these exhibitors a big hand, it was an awesome class.
So from the last hour, receiving blue ribbon are Ashton George, Trevor Lindauer, Reagan Hurst, and Laura Lindauer. Receiving purple would be Alan Henderson, Owen Lindauer, and Trevor Lindauer. We will now be evaluating for Grand County Brewer Champion Market. So we get our first and second group
of meat market goes, one that I think is very high quality from top to bottom, so I congratulate you guys on all of your hard work and dedication that you've put in this far into the summer. For me, I think there's one that definitely wins pretty quickly, in my opinion. She just fits more my style of what I view as a high quality weather dam. And so I'll go ahead and get you guys a champion in reserve, but please congratulate these exhibitors for all their hard work.
Our grand champion market meat zone is awarded to Pete Hartley. In addition, we received our reserve champion award. The next group entering the ring is Group 7 Market Meat Goat Feathers.
100% without a doubt, the most athletic weather to look at. I love his ability to hook up stroke strong out of the backside of his blade. Right there, he is jet level from his blade back to his hip, and then when you study his underline, he's still shallow, progresses back soft into his blade. I really like this one. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. And the fact that he still handles with quite a bit of shape and expression is pretty impressive for as young as he is. I think you've done an awesome job managing this weather. Congratulations to you. Now, that's something to take away from the black-headed weather, because if you just study these from a market perspective at the end of the hook, this one would 110% without a doubt have to win the class. This thing is cracked open. He's huge through his chest, floor, and underneath, which is what allowed him to be so round and massive about his rib cage, and then lay that kind of shape up high. He is huge over his rack. He has a ditch down his top. He's big one. He's extremely stout and powerful out of his hip and cycle. Right here and on the move is where I get a little bit picky on him. He's a little bit smaller footed, but the biggest thing, he breaks out of the backside of his blade and just gets weaker out of the backside of his shoulder, which just throws him off of it from the side from a balance and design perspective. And he wants to get a little bit rounder and more up under himself as he circles the ring. But like I said, from a feed management standpoint, I think you done a really good job, because he is so fresh, he is so shapely. He has a lot of good attributes about him. I just wish from a structure and design standpoint, you could make him a bit more athletic when he circles the ring. They're very, very nice top pair that could go either way. I just prefer a little bit more athletic. So congratulations to you two. That's nothing to take away from the rest of you guys in the class, because I think you just ran into two that were very, very high quality in this class. The young lady that comes out next, I think, with the paint weather is one that certainly could have some comparisons with those two ahead of him. He's just a little bit greener. He's a little bit looser heighted, and so he doesn't handle quite as fresh and hard over his rack and edge. I'd like to see him come just a bit more shapely in that regard. But I think from the side, in terms of being a show goat, it's still one that has some quality. He ties his neck high out of the top side of his blade. He's level and square out of his hip and pin set, and it's still big footed. Just like to see him come a bit fresher and more shapely up high. But still, congratulations to you. Young lady that comes out next, setting one. Is this your first year showing? No, second year? You got a bright future ahead of you, because your goat has all the right pieces. But for me, we just need to push him a little bit harder at home to get some more pounds on him, to get him to come a little bit bolder and more massive all the way throughout, because I really like this one skeleton. I like his build. I think he's shallow. I think he has the right pieces. We just need to feed him a bit more aggressive, because he is wide in his rib. He is full in his forearm, which he has the pieces to be really powerful and really muscular. So we just got to get him there. And I think once you do get him there, he'll be awfully good. So congratulations to you. Just need to see him a bit more muscular. Same for you, young lady with the black-headed weather. I like this one's forearm shape a good deal. He has the pieces that look manly, that look powerful in terms of his forearm and feature. Again, though, we just need to see him a bit shallower chested, a little bit more blown up in there in his forearm, so that he can be more shapely and can be more aggressive in the turn to his shape when you get your hands on it. And the same for you, young man. I think you've maybe got one of the more mature weathers in the class. We just need to see more overall shape expression to compete any higher today. But if we could, please give these exhibitors a big hand. A very, very good class for soldiers.
Next in your area is Group 8. Our results for Group 7 are receiving purple, Kobe Husband. Also receiving purple, Jacob. Our blue ribbon winners are Bridget Tower, Mary Gomez, Joey Purvis, and Stephen Johnson. Second call for Groups 9 and 10.
pressure, where do we go from there? And I think for me, that's always gonna be design and overall width. And so the young man that comes out in second, I think has one, that can give you some length and extension up front. He's big footed, he's really stout featured. When you get it behind him, is actually probably my favorite view of that weather because he is pretty big in terms of his pin set. He's really stout and powerful there. His lower leg and pull apart underneath. We just need to see him come a bit fresher when you get your hands on him. But still, congratulations to you. The other thing that comes out next with the red weather, I think, is one that again is similar to the one ahead of him. Maybe just doesn't come as overwhelmingly dimensional and from behind, doesn't have the same kind of overall width and dimension underneath of him. And then when you get your hand on him, I think too, he needs to be a little bit fresher in terms of his skin and hair. He needs to be a little bit harder handling. And again, maybe they're just a little bit looser heighted. We just need to see him square and more powerful up high. So you're doing a good job getting him shown. Congratulations to you. Now look at it comes out next with the red paint, one that I think has a lot of length and extension all the way throughout, no matter where you study that guy. Again, we just have to see more shape, we have to see more dimension. I think this guy's a little bit smaller footed, he's a little bit rounder there out of his hip, but still can appreciate his length. Good job to you, young lady. Same similar story for the young lady with the black shoulder weather in this class. I think one that again reads pretty practical. He does have plenty of grip. He is pretty powerful in that aspect, but at the same time, he's probably pushing it in terms of his condition when you get your hands over his first couple rigs there. Just need to see him fresher with more true shape. But another good class. Please congratulate these exhibitors.
The next group entering the ring is group 9. Our results from group 8 are Peyton Hartman receiving purple, Trevor Lindar, Shower with purple, Reggie Lindar receiving purple. The blue ribbon winners are Ryan Sanders and Chris.
going. And I appreciate those things about have a good deal. Maybe from a structure standpoint, we'd like to lay him back to the angle of his knee. We'd like to see him come a bit square there in his hop travel and he turns and goes away from you. But that kid is picking on one that you have to appreciate in terms of his freshness and true shape up high. Congratulations to you. And it's okay. He's being a little ornery. We always get those sometimes, so stick with it, buddy. The young lady that's going to be second, I think, is one that maybe from the outside of the ring is obviously very visibly bigger rig, very stout and big in terms of his forearm, foot size, and feature. And I appreciate those things about that weather. For me, though, I'd like to suck him down there a bit about his center skeleton. Maybe he just ate a little bit too much or drank too much water before we came in the show ring. But I'd like to see him come just a little bit more fresh and expressive over the top side of his skeleton. Like I said, sucking down there a bit in terms of his rib shape, just to give him a bit of a better presentation from the side. But again, a nice pair of weathers. Congratulations to both of you.
Mine?
Next group in the ring is group 10, that's the 11 junior.
I think it's always exciting to come to the county fair and get to see all of the kids in the community's hard work pay off throughout the year, and it certainly has out here. And you can tell that no matter if you got an ornery boot bill like this seven hand, you stick with it and you continue to work through the problems, because sometimes it's an unfamiliar area that they haven't been to before, and you never know how they're gonna act, but that's the beauty of 4-H, is getting to create that bond. And so it's always exciting for me to get out here and work with these guys and see the hard work they put in throughout the year. Again, I know I talked about all these weathers in class, so I'm not going to go through and talk about them again. But in my mind, I think there's a pair of them out here that suit each other really well, like we talked in class, that are going to go ahead and be champion and reserve. But again, as we exit the room with these individuals, if we could congratulate them again for all of their hard work and success. We're going to go ahead and get you guys a champion and reserve.
So our grand champion, Market Eco Better, is awarded to Colby Market, and to your third champion. Well, next, please, look at the overall New York Market Meet Goat. So, let's go to grand champion. Brandon Lindauer is our reserve champion. We need just a few minutes to get that club 10 of 5 marketing coach together. And those are repeat participants here. So we'll just give it a second. Take that one.
Crazy.
And higher performing as a set. And so it really just depends on where your preference lies. We were judging these as a real five. From a market standpoint, I think the heavier weight one would probably have to win with the heavier muscle, the heavier marbling, or not marbling, the heavier internal marbling. And so for me, I'm going to go with the one directly in front of me to be champion and the one to my right to be reserved. But it's really close. Good job to you guys. Keep working hard and working together as a team, and good luck.
Our grand champion club 10 of 5, Market Nico, goes to the Lone Tree Warriors Club. Our reserve champion club 10 of 5, Market Nico, to the Rural Ranchers. The next awards that we will be giving out in the livestock arena will be our Rita Games Award. We're right now outside. So will the following 4-Hers please come to the arena without your votes? No votes in the arena, just your 4-Hers. We need Carmen Sanford, Alan Henderson, and Ashlyn George to come to the arena. Carmen Sanford, Alan Henderson, and Ashlyn George will be announced three of game.
The weight or rate of gain. Rate of gain is measured by how much the animal, how much weight the animal puts on. We weigh them in early in April, and we get here at the fair. In the meat goat rate of gain leather, your grand champion was Adeline Henderson with an average rate of gain of 0.480. Your reserve goes to Carmen Sanford with 0.453. For Nico rate game, though, your grand champion was Ashley George with an average of 0.360. And your reserve goes to Adeline Henderson with an average of 0.33. Congratulations.
And so with Great Game, our grand champions will receive a special award from our sponsor, the Animal Clinic here in Hastings. So thank you to the Animal Clinic for sponsoring our Great Game award. Our senior showmen need to be coming to the ring with their animals. We're going to start with senior showmanship next. So we'll give those rangers just a minute to get organized, and we'll be beginning with group 13 senior showmanship. Also called group 14 first call. Group 14 first call.
for 9 years now. I wish my goats were filled out in the front area. I don't know if I just wish I had a date on it. Future plans, I have 1 more year after this, and I'll be going to the out.
Too much for my board. Yeah.
I'm Eddie Johnson, I've been showing for about 9 years now, we got one year to show up, and we could land in the CCC.
My name is Ashley George. I've been showing for about 8 years. I'd like to see my goats back a little bit more flat and more even. Some advice for like regular kids. Don't get caught in the ribbon placings, just like enjoy being out here with your animals and being able to do this every year. You're showing a big hand. They've all done a tremendous job. I actually really like the way that you guys do your county fair and showmanship at the end because I do remember faces and I remember how you guys do throughout the day. And so it's important, no matter how the show goes, or like you said, no matter what placing you get, it can really show if you guys keep with it and keep your grit and a positive attitude and get out here at the end of the day. When everybody's hot and tired and stick with it and continue to do your best out here, and I think you all certainly have, and I commend you guys for that. Just to be honest, them getting on the mic and whatever they said or did not say has zero way in of how they do it showmanship, but I think it's important for young agriculturalists to be able to speak in front of people and to be able to voice their opinions or just talk about themselves to promote themselves and what we do in this industry. And so I think for seniors, I always like to give them the opportunity to just talk about themselves or their goat or whatever it may be that they feel like they want to share. And again, it really has nothing to do with showmanship, but I think it's just important in life. And so good job to all of you. You all have very with showmanship, but I think it's just important in life. And so good job to all of you. You all have very good things to say. And some of you, I could tell, did actually listen to the things that I was saying about maybe what I would change about your goat through the show, which is very respectful. So I appreciate that as well. But from an actual showmanship perspective, what we're here to do right now, I think there really are some differences just in terms of efficiency, how quickly you can get your goats set up and make sure that they're looking their absolute best. Spacing is really important to me. I want to see you utilize the whole ring as much of it as possible. I want to see how well you space yourself out from the person in front of you or behind you, because that's also a respectful thing to do. You don't want to crowd anybody. You don't want to minimize their opportunity or your opportunity for being seen. And so, with all of that being said, I think there are maybe a couple of you that just stick out in terms of posture, efficiency, getting your goat set up quickly. And one thing that I will definitely say, and some of you guys mentioned it on the mic, I hope that there are little ones out there that are about to come in the ring here in the next couple classes watching, because you guys are all doing a very good job. The last thing that I'll say here in senior showmanship is I give a lot of kudos to you parents in the community for raising these kids and being supportive of them to do what they love. So big congratulations to all of you guys. I'm going to go ahead and shake the hands of the top 5. If you could please give them a big hand. They all get okay.
Oh, I think I'm in the next one. I raised, okay.
So all senior children receiving the winner champion award goes to Kirkland, reserve champion award goes to
Yes, yeah.
I must say I might be a little biased, but I think the junior division is always my favorite. I love talking to the young minds of our future and just hearing what they have to say. And I know you're getting hot and you're tired, so I'm sorry for keeping you out here so long, but I really enjoy getting to know you guys a little bit and just hearing what you have to say. There were a couple I don't knows, so I was a little disappointed, I must say. So guys, before you go into showmanship, make sure you ask your mom and dad or you do something to prepare yourself if the judge might ask questions. I know not every judge asks questions, but it's good to know your goat's birthday. It's good to know how you feed your goat. And so simple things, just make sure you ask your parents or you have a conversation with them just because that goes into knowing your goat. That goes into the relationship that you have with your goat. So that also goes for parents. Make sure you maybe tell them some of those kind of things before they head into showmanship. But regardless, you guys all did a really good job, and you were always all very respectful and polite. It was cool to get to talk to you guys. I think there's definitely a couple of you guys that stand out in terms of your showmanship ability. Main thing at this age, I think, is probably efficiency. There's some of you guys that just are a little bit ahead of the hump here in terms of getting your goat set up quick and making sure that they always look the best. The other thing is, whenever I switch sides, what are we supposed to do, guys? Switch back and forth, right? So everybody goes, I'm on this side, so everybody should be on that side of your goat, because you always want to keep your goat in between you and I. What about whenever I'm standing in front of you? Where should you be? Yeah, so that I can see your chest, okay? So I'm in front of you, so step off to the side of your goat. Yeah, so that I can see your chest. You see what I'm saying? Oh, switch back to the other side. There you go. Okay, so just some little things here, guys, that you can work on maybe at home, or different things as you guys continue to grow up and get older. I always encourage you all to be standing ringside because your county fair helps you all out because they put the seniors first, and so you should be able to stand outside the ring and watch how well the older kids do. And if you have any questions or are unsure of why they did what they did when they were out here, you have time to go ask them, hey, I saw that you did this and this whenever you were in the ring. Why did you do that? So that you have a better understanding, because we're always trying to get better. And so, you guys are young, you did a really good job. I'm going to go ahead and get you a champion in reserve, but keep at it. They all said that they were going to keep showing, which I love to hear. If you could all give them a big hand, really, really good job, you guys.
Congratulations to our junior goat showman. They all received performance, so anytime you go, for Owen Hinsauer, Iowa Hickey, Zoe Curtis, Carter McIntyre, Quinn Ferguson, Brandon Hurst, Remington Joseph, America Gallmer, Kimberly Sanders, and Adeline Henderson. Our grand champion, junior goat showman, was awarded to Adeline Henderson. Our reserve champion goes to Raven Hurst. Congratulations to our junior goat showman. We're going to take this short break here while our contestants get their notes and costumes ready. We're going to be getting our best direct test votes. It's a lot of fun, so stick around.
Today. And I didn't know that it was actually a scheduled event at the water fight. And it's like, we just started it after the auction. We just started just going. But like, you could sign up. Oh yeah, they could sign up for that, mud tug of war, all kinds of stuff. And they could sign up.
While we're waiting for our best friends to come to the ring, I just want to give a special thank you to all of the goat people behind the scenes. So special thanks to our goat co-superintendent, Rod Hartman and Jerry Benko. Thank you for being our goat superintendent this year. Running our gate this year is Bryce Casper. Thank you for keeping all of our kids in line and doing those classes and organizing sleds. And our tabletop, we have Jamie Gofferman and Megan Rasky keeping books here. And finally, our golden clover, Dakota McCoy, is handing out our ribbons and awards. So thank you to all of our coach contest help today. We sure appreciate all that you do to make this contest happen. So take a moment until we get a first call to our veteran coach to the arena. That's first call, that's to the arena. All contestants, including the players. members in the Clover Kid entry today. So let's welcome our Clover Kid best dressed contestants to the Lights Up Arena.
My name is Dakota, and my little Jessica has Snow White.
Give these two a big hand. Well, let's give our hands to Charlotte and Dakota. Let's just get into actually it is very just like a movie. And it's all right, our traditional board members, if you are ready, we will have group second team and turning the arena with your best dress go. One moment, we need to make sure to sit. What's your name? And why is there my goat? I love it. name?
Hayden Johnson.
What's your go dress up as and why? Good job. You're a kid. What's your name? What's your go dress up as? And why? Just trying to do it.
Yes, there is. Grand and reserve.
We do select a grand and reserve champion out of our best dress gold contest. And I think this might be the hardest contest for me to take it.
Well, once again, I would just like to thank you guys for having me here today. It's been an awesome show to sort through, but even better kids, you guys should be really, really proud of. So thank you guys again. It was super fun, and you guys all have very respectful youth, and I really appreciate that. And it makes me excited to see the future of agriculture. So thank you guys again. I'm going to get you a champion in reserve. And congratulations to everybody that participated today.
All of our contestants receive a purple ribbon. Our grand champion best dress coat goes to Hayden Johnson. Our reserve champion Tony Hurd, and our purple ribbon contestant is Linda Ishii. Thank you for all the work and creative things that went behind bringing those best dress goats or goats that want to be a sheep to the arena.
I got to do it one time. Yeah. I think in all the times that I've done it, I think there's only been like one or two kids that are like, that's something I got to do my senior year, and it was the judge and he asked me to have it. Oh, yeah. See, I had to do that a lot growing up and knowing, but I'm always scared that if I do that, something's gonna happen and it's gonna be I go. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna avoid it. Yeah, thank you guys.
Just a reminder once again for our vote, contestants that you have 2 hours after the close here of our vote show to make sure livestock, lots, paperwork filled out at the livestock office. So if you receive